Hi, Karla here. Welcome back to my channel where I like to find the fun and magic in everyday things. I have been waiting weeks to make this video, but now I can unequivocally tell you that I love making and burning incense pellets. And if you love burning loose incense, pellet incense takes it to a whole other level. Pellet incense is truly my favorite. Not only is it easy and forgiving to make, it's really hard to mess it up. The aroma is divine. It has a really rich, deep aroma that's unlike any other incense forms, like sticks and cones. And that's because pellet incense is cured rather than dried. And that's why it stands above the rest. And yes, curing does take longer than drying, which is why it has taken me weeks to make this video. But it is so worth it. So you want to see how easy it is to make? All right, let's start with our ingredients. I wanted an incense that when burned would impart an all's well with the world energy. You know that feeling of contentment, nice and grounded. So I used the flower acronym for making well-rounded incense. For flowers or fruit and berries, I used rose for love and healing, chamomile for calming, and honeysuckle for luck and prosperity. For leaves, I used cedar for purifying, lemon verbena for purification, and it also increases the potency of the other herbs. For the essential oil, I used lily of the valley for happiness and it improves memory, geranium, health and protection, and patchouli for prosperity. For wood, root, nuts, or seeds and pods, I used Palo Santo for clearing negative energies, sandalwood, healing and protection, cinnamon bark for success and protection. And finally, for resin, I used a Mayan dark copal for purification and love. And I'm using honey as my binder, which is most common, but you can also use agave or any type of jam. In fact, the traditional Japanese pellet incense called Nariko or Nariko uses plum jam. So I say experiment with different binders and see how they come out, because that's what I'm gonna do. Now, let's put it all together. So I'm using 2 teaspoons of sandalwood, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon bark, 1/4 teaspoon of Palo Santo, 2 teaspoons of cedar leaves. I made a floral blend using equal parts of rose, chamomile, and lemon verbena, and I'm using 2 teaspoons of that blend, 1/4 teaspoon of Mayan dark copal, and 1/2 teaspoon of honeysuckle powder. Now it's time to blend into a fine powder. At this point, I add my essential oils, and then the binder, which in this case is honey. Mix well. If it's too dry, add more honey. When it's malleable enough to form a ball, it's time to knead it for a bit. Then really mash it together using a mortar and pestle for about no less than 6 minutes, because this really helps to fuse the ingredients together. Now it's time to roll out the dough to form pellets. And if it's too sticky, just sprinkle a little sandalwood over the top. Now I like to use a pizza cutter to make uniform sized squares and then roll each square into pellets. I then place them in a glass bowl to dry. Now every day for the first few days, I like to roll them around just so that they can dry out evenly. After that, I let them sit 4 weeks. The longer they age, the better they smell when burned. From what I've read, traditional Magickal is buried in ceramic jars for an entire year before they're burned. Now, I don't have that kind of patience, but I'd wait a minimum of 2 weeks. You will not be disappointed. Now, if you love burning loose incense, I really hope I've inspired you to try your hand at making incense pellets. Now at some point, I'm going to try making some kefi, which is an ancient Egyptian incense. So let me know in the comment section if you've made it before, because I'd love to hear your experience. Well, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next adventure.